Our new president had, of course, not been in this line of work before, and I think had excessive expectations about how quickly things happen.
President Trump not happy with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's comments. Excessive expectations, that's what he's angry about. The senator appeared to school the president on what it takes to get legislation passed in D.C. This afternoon, President Trump said this in response to a reporter who asked if Senator McConnell should be fired.
If he doesn't get repeal and replace done, and if he doesn't get taxes done, meaning cuts and reform, and if he doesn't get a very easy one to get done, infrastructure, if he doesn't get them done, then you can ask me that question.
Early today, the president blasted Senator McConnell in tweets, one saying, quote, Mitch, get back to work and put repeal and replace, tax reform and cuts, and a great infrastructure bill on my desk for signing. You can do it. But former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, disagrees with President Trump. Listen.
It was a collective failure. Both the Trump administration and the Republicans in the Senate failed. But to get involved in shooting at each other when there were 16 Democrats voting no for every single Republican who voted no is goofy.
Joining me now, former Bush 43 Deputy Chief of Staff, Karl Rove. Good to see you, Karl. So you shouldn't be shooting at each other under the same tent, right? I mean, Reagan's 11th commandment was don't attack a fellow Republican. Who do you agree with?
Well, I agree with Speaker Gingrich's observation. Look, Mitch McConnell made, I thought, a common sense observation that President Trump needs to, under promise and over deliver. And he has said since the beginning, we're going to get a tax cut bill easily and quickly. We're going to get a repeal and replacement of Obamacare quickly. We're going to get him. You just heard him. He just said a big infrastructure bill. We're 200 and some odd days into the administration, and this week, President Trump is appointing his infrastructure committee, and there is no bill, no outline, no piece of legislation that the administration has proposed in this regard. Now, this is a kerfluffle that should not be expanded. The president poured gasoline on it. If he was upset about what Mitch McConnell said, he should have maybe called McConnell and said, I really didn't appreciate that. But McConnell was giving him sound advice, and since then it has turned into a food fight that serves nobody's purpose except that of Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, and Nancy Pelosi, House Minority Leader. That's the only purpose that this serves.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and now they're, going back to their hometowns, talking to their constituents. The voter out there doesn't like the D.C. swamp. Certainly the Trump voter doesn't like the fact that the Republicans have nothing to show 7 months in. Can the two still work together to get GOP legislation passed? What's going on with tax cuts?
Well, look, there's no doubt in my mind that they can and should work together. McConnell's been around the town a long time. He's seen people come and go out of the White House. He knows how to get the things done. He needs to have the president working with him, not against him. The president taking pot shots at members of the Senate doesn't help. And similarly, it doesn't help for the president to be taking pot shots at the Republicans in the Congress. Mitch McConnell came within one vote of getting done what the president wanted to get done. The focus ought to be how can we get that one vote more. I feel better about tax reform because you may have seen reports in the last couple of weeks that there have been regular meetings between the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Kevin Brady of Texas, the Senate Finance Committee Chairman Orrin Hatch, and the administration and McConnell and Ryan, the two leaders of the House, and then Secretary of Treasury Mnuchin and National Economic Council Director Gary Cohn. That's very important to have them knit up. We had no similar set of ongoing close cooperation conversations between the principals on health care, and it showed.
Republicans haven't had a majority like this, I think, since 1931. I mean, Trump is really frustrated, rightly so. According to his team, he has a fraught relationship with GOP lawmakers. We know that. Karl, it's like they're joined in a shotgun marriage in this unified Republican government. We keep hearing congressmen saying, this isn't personal. There's no grudge match going on with the president. Yeah, he insulted us, but we're for the American people. The voter out there isn't believing that. They feel like it is personal, that there's a grudge match going on. It's a blood feud. What do you think?
Well, there is in some instances. I mean, when he questioned the patriotism of John McCain, McCain's maybe he hasn't fully gotten over that. I don't know. But I do know this. Trump came into office with not the normal strengths that a Republican presidential candidate would come in. He's not been a Republican for a long time. He's not, sort of run into Congressman so-and-so when he was at the Lincoln Day dinner in, Big Gap, Ohio. He didn't do a fundraiser for so-and-so when they were running for the U.S. Senate. And so when he came into office, he should have recognized that in order to have that kind of unity and support, that he needed to go out of his way to cultivate and encourage it, and you get it more with honey than you do with vinegar. And the president has enormous skills. He demonstrated it in business of being able to schmooze people. He's showing it in these meetings with international leaders. He ought to recognize that he's got a co-equal branch of government in the Congress that he's dealing with, and that he needs to make certain that he has as strong a good personal relationship with as many of the leaders as possible. And you don't get that by tweeting about them and blowing it up. I mean, the president has to be the adult in the room, and if he wants to get his agenda done, look, in 2018, if the Republicans don't get things done, it'll be Republican House members and Republican senators that will suffer. But in 2020, it will be President himself, if he runs for re-election, who will suffer, because he is the leader. And if he can't lead and get his party to get the agenda done, he can't shovel that blame onto other people.